Hi friends! Today we are doing my August TBR. I have 2 readathons to talk about and way too many books to get through. I am trying to do 2 readathons this month. The first one being the Trope-ical Readathon and the second one being the Orilium Magical Readathon. I absolutely love both of these. These are the 2 readathons that I make sure to do every single year. And in August, they line up with each other, which is not really the best month for me because August is also when I'm starting school back up. So as we go through these books, I'm going to start with the ones I'm prioritizing. I'm going to prioritize the Magical Readathon. I have, I think, 7 books for that, which is my usual amount of books. And then from there, we'll just see how many we get through. In the Magical Readathon, you get to pick a calling. And the calling I'm going for is necromancy. For animal studies, I had to pick a book with an animal companion. So I'm going to be listening to the 3rd book by Sebastian de Castell, and it is called Charmcaster, I think, or Charmmaster. I'm going to try and put it up here. But it accounts for my animal companion book in the Magical Readathon, and it counts as an audiobook or a different format for the Trope-ical Readathon. I have to read 2 books for spells and incantation. The first prompt for this was to use a color palette to pick a color, and I got this kind of darkish blue. So that gave me the opportunity to pick up Lore Volume 2. I loved Lore Volume 1, so I really wanted to make sure this got on the list because I knew I was going to read it either way. It's probably going to be the thing I pick up first. I'm super excited for this one. I'm also going to count it for a retelling prompt in the Trope-ical Readathon. I also, for spells and incantations, have to read a book from someone else's TBR. I'm kind of cheating a little bit. So Ilazzo is one of the books for the Team Fantasy read. So most people on Team Fantasy are trying to read this book to get the points for Trope-ical Readathon, which means it's on a lot of TBRs. So it is going to be my team book for the Trope-ical Readathon and my from someone else's TBRs for spells and incantation. I really love the cover, and I really love the dust jacket. It's got like a squared spine, which for whatever reason makes it fit really well on this book. Conjuration is up next for my list of classes, and of course I have to read a book with necromancy, so I'm going to go with The Necromancer. This is from the Michael Scott Secrets of the Immortal series. I've read 3 books in this series so far and have really enjoyed them. This is a really good YA series if you are looking for one. It has so many good mythological characters in it, and the plot is always very engaging. It follows 2 twins that are part of a prophecy to stop a dark one from coming back and taking over the world. They beat a bunch of immortal characters, starting with Nicholas Flamel and his Philosopher's Stone in book 1. Next up is a prompt to read a book with bone on the cover or in the title. So I am finally going to pick up Children of Blood and Bone. I bought this when it first came out and for whatever reason just never got around to it. I kept reading other things, and so we've gone 5-6 years and I never read it. So here we are. I'm going to read Children of Blood and Bone. I've heard great things about the first book. I feel like people were less excited about the second book, but it's been so long now that I can't remember. I do know, though, that it has to do with a loss of magic, dwindling magic, because that is the prompt for Trope-ical Readathon. Okay, the last prompt for Conjuration is to reread a favorites. And I am going with Academy 7. I bought this back in college. It's a cute little romance with some pretty dark themes, actually. Follows a girl who has escaped a slave planet and is undercover or kind of hiding her identity and joins a school. She hopes to just be able to make a life for herself. It has enemies to lovers, and her arch rival is a boy that seems to be kind of the golden boy, but has a lot going on in his life. So the love story is really well built for such a short book, and I just always enjoy reading this. For the Magical Readathon, it says reread a favorite, and for the Trope-ical Readathon, it says a comfort read, and this is both. Okay, I have Restoration next up for my classes, and the prompt is to read a book with 1 object and focus on the cover. So I'm going to pick up the Forgetting. I know the basic premise of this. It's another one I bought a long time ago. It has to do with a day. I don't know if it's a day each year or every once in a while, but everybody forgets everything. You forget your family, you forget the actions of the year, you forget literally everything unless it is written down. So your personal book becomes very important to you, because if you don't have that, you have no idea who you are. In Trope-ical Readathon, this is going to cover a bookish theme, because if you don't have your own book of memories, you're kind of in trouble here. And the last one is Demonology, and you just have to read a fantasy book. So I am going to officially pick up and go. This is the 4th book in the Night Watch series that's part of Discworld. I have thoroughly enjoyed that entire series so far. Every book is so funny and witty and sarcastic that I can't help but love it. The characters are beautifully done. The world is really fun to be involved in. So this is definitely getting a read. It is a high priority read for this month. Okay, so that is it for the Magical Readathon, but I have a lot more prompts for Trope-ical Readathon, because they usually do quite a few, and I never get through all of them. Usually I don't even get through half of them, but I'm gonna do my darndest this year. So another prompt they always have is absent parents, and I usually use that to squeeze in a series of unfortunate events book. I'm on book number 6. This is the last one that I own. So if I continue on, I'll probably start buying these again, because I do really enjoy these. They're dark, especially when you think of them as kids books, but I feel like they're a great way to introduce kids into harder topics. A lot of the books I'm going to be reading, I'm getting on Kindle, because I'm trying to read a few different things from either my classics to read list, my 200 classics list, or just some that I've been trying to pick up and don't own yet. One of the prompts is unread genre, which I usually choose classics for that, and I am going to read Another Country by James Baldwin. A few of the booktubers that I watch that love classics always give very high praise to James Baldwin and his writing, so I'm really excited to get into this one. There is a dark academia prompt, and I'm going to listen to The Last Graduate on audiobook as soon as I get done with the Spellslinger book. I finally got to Deadly Education. It's been on my audiobook wish list for quite a while. Finally made it there and really enjoyed it, just devoured it. Really, it was a great vacation book, and so I'm excited to get to this one. I have not heard people talking about it, so I don't really know what to expect. There is a prompt to read a book that was written before 2000, so again, I'm going to try and fit in one of my 200 classics to read, and this one has a funny title, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. I've looked into this book before, but don't remember anything about the plot. I just think the name is funny, and I'm excited to see how it fits into this book. There's also a celebrity prompt. Read a book either written by a celebrity or a celebrity favorite. I am going to be reading Becoming on my Kindle by Michelle Obama, because I've wanted to read that book for a while. I don't read much nonfiction, but memoirs are one of my favorites. And so I think I just haven't got around to this one, but man, have I heard great things. And I have such high respect for her that I think this will be an enjoyable read and a great one if I get to it. The next prompt is multiple POV, and I am going to read Jamina. I've read Illuminate by Kaufman and Kristoff, so I'd like to read the next one. I know there is some controversy around J. Kristoff, and so I don't plan on buying the book. I want to continue the series because I did really enjoy the first book, so I'm going to plan on getting the next 2 from my library, and hopefully just finishing the series that way. It was a really good first book. I loved the first book, so I am excited to read. The formatting was beautiful. It's so different. It's written with a ton of different stylized pages. Sometimes you have to follow the words in different, swirls, and they make pictures with the words, and I just really enjoyed reading it. And the last one, if I get to it, is a pre-modern setting. For that, I'm going to read Thief by Matthew Colville. This is kind of like a D&D-esque book. And I read book 1 called Priest a while back. It was one at first I wasn't sure how I felt, but it was one of those books that really sat with me, especially the weight of the decisions made at the end of that book. Like I said, it sat with me. And so I'm excited to pick up this one and see how I feel continuing on in that series. Those are the books I'm going to be reading in August. I have quite a few Kindle books if I can get to them. I really don't know how many books I'm going to be able to get to, just starting up this school year. So here we go. Oh, some of them are turned the wrong way. That's not helpful. All right, so my stack, there it is. I've definitely got some good books and ones I'm excited about on this list. The joys of mood reading. I will see y'all later. Let me know if you're doing either readathon. They are both just really well done, very well executed every single time I join in. I will see you all later. Have a great day. Bye, friends.